Just got a couple more speakers for you. You guys doing all right? Good. Next up, he is the founder of the Coalition of Energy Users, and as such has been working to free us from the regulatory restraints imposed by, and if you are not familiar with what a pox on California culture the California Air Resources Board has been, this young man is doing his best to limit them, and let's hope he can. He also works for the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. Say hello to Eric Issenhammer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Good to be here. And hey, would anybody like some good news? I think we've got a lot of bad news, but how about some good news for a change? You know what? We've been working on our project, Coalition of Energy Users. I founded that with the help of the Tea Party and a great coalition of people about 2 years ago, and big things are getting ready to happen. Good things are getting ready to happen. AB 245, it's a bill by Assemblywoman Grove. I don't know if anybody heard about this, if anybody follows the Coalition of Energy Users and the emails that we send out. But if you do, you would know that we exposed the legislature for trying to exempt the cap and trade auction from accountability, from transparency at the end of last year. What they did, they slipped it into a budget trailer bill. It's called it's like an addendum. It was over 100 pages long. Nobody ever had a chance to read this thing. And it said that in the cap and trade auction, they'll be able to do it in secret, impose billions of dollars of new cap and trade energy taxes on all of us, with no transparency and no accountability, by exempting themselves from this critical open meetings provision. Well, we exposed that. A few months later, thank you. A few months later, the Sacramento Bee wrote an editorial saying that we were right. Then Assemblywoman Shannon Grove, who's a great patriot, introduced a bill, AB 245, to restore transparency to the cap and trade auction. We submitted a letter with a broad coalition, including the California Construction Trucking Association, the Concrete Pumpers, the National Federation of Independent Business, a group called Friends for Saving California Jobs, and even a group called the International Faith-Based Coalition that represents thousands of African American clergy throughout California and throughout America. So we submitted a letter, and then the legislature realized that they better take us seriously. So they postponed their hearing on the bill because they don't want to kill the bill. And now a new bill's been introduced by a Democrat, SB 725, a Senator Lara. And like Ronald Reagan said, you can accomplish a lot when you don't care who gets the credit. Because this new bill, SB 726, it's going to pass. And it's going to restore transparency to the cap and trade auction because of us, because of our activism. And let me tell you about another proposal that's getting ready to pass. It's called AB 278. It's by a gentleman named Assemblyman Gatto, who's a Democrat, but he's a Democrat who gets it. He's doing something about California's low-carbon fuel standard plan. The low-carbon fuel standard is a biofuels mandate that the California Energy Commission says will add $3 billion to the cost of gas by 2018, $4 billion by 2019, $4.5 billion by 2020, and I'm going to stop there, but it doesn't keep getting bigger. I'm just stopping there. This bill, besides imposing higher costs on gas for us all, would also contribute to deforestation of the rainforest. Jane Goodall, who is known for her advocacy for primates, for monkeys, she's spoken out about it, saying that we don't want to have these biofuel mandates that contribute to the destruction of the rainforest. ActionAid and Oxfam, groups that are nonpartisan organizations that just care about providing food to people in the third world. They're speaking out about how Western food for fuel policies are contributing to hunger in the third world. So Assemblyman Gatto has introduced a bill, AB 278, that would address this policy. That bill has gone through its first committee hearing with a unanimous vote. And let me tell you, California has 60% of America's shale energy reserves. in Texas, in the Eagle Ford deposit, in North Dakota, in the Bakken deposit, in Alberta, they've got some shale. They've got a town in Alberta named Fort McMurray. They've nicknamed Fort McMoney because people are going there and they're getting six-figure jobs working in the field. This small town on the edge of the tundra has boomed to 100,000 people. McDonald's employees in North Dakota are making good wages, even at McDonald's, because the unemployment level in some areas of North Dakota is now beneath 1%. Well, we've got 60% of America's shale energy reserves. And Governor Brown has introduced regulations on hydraulic fracturing, which is already in use in hundreds of wells in California. Governor Brown has introduced regulations for the safe and responsible use of hydraulic fracturing here in California to bring in $25 billion of new revenue, to create $10,000 of additional income for every man, woman, and child in California, and grow our economy to a phenomenal degree that we're only seeing in North Dakota and Texas to this point. But Governor Brown is on the right side. And Democrats, assembly members in the Central Valley, where they would be able to take advantage of that technology and those jobs, they're saying that we need to grow the economy if we want to have resources for services that we care about, like education. Henry T. Perea, he's a Democrat in the Central Valley, was joined by an Assemblyman Gray recently, writing an article that appeared, I believe, in the Fresno Bee, saying that we've got to take advantage of this technology, that California's got to seize the opportunity to develop our energy resources and create some jobs. Let me tell you, I'm not going to pretend that there aren't obstacles. There's a bill by Senator Fran Pavley that would stop all of this and put a moratorium on hydraulic fracturing. It's called SB 4. There's another bill, SB 241, that would impose $2 billion of new oil severance taxes and make our oil taxes the highest in America and raise our gas prices through the roof. That's SB 241. So monitor those bills. Keep yourself informed of this legislation by signing up for updates on coalitionofenergyusers.org and on our Facebook page, Coalition of Energy Users, facebook.com/energy users. But more than ever, people are realizing that we need jobs. People are realizing that we need access to affordable gas and affordable power. I spent a lot of time talking to people in the inner city community, and people in those communities realize this is a civil rights issue, to have jobs and affordable power for everybody. You know, some of you might have come here a little bit discouraged, looking at the situation that we face in our country and the economy that we face and the high taxes that we all face. But I came to tell you that 2013 is going to be a year like no other. The activism that the Tea Party has been doing for the last few years, we've been sowing seeds and we're about to reap a harvest. We're about to bring prosperity back to California. We're getting ready and we're about to see some really huge things happen. So keep up the activism, keep up the faith, keep up your support for the good things that we're doing, because we're having an effect and we're getting ready to win. Thank you so much.
Eric Issenhammer, ladies and gentlemen.